Train travelers take note. Owing to a rise in COVID-infected personnel at the Taiwan Railways Administration, train services have been and will be significantly cut back. So far, 96 scheduled train trips have been canceled since mid-May. Starting in June, another 110 train trips will be cut on weekends. To make matters worse, the government's plans to privatize the TRA are causing many of its employees to jump ship.
It's the weekend. Crowds pour into train stations, taking advantage of the balmy weather to travel. However, a glance at the train schedule reveals that trains are arriving at the station less frequently.
I've discovered that the wait has gotten longer and the available rides have become fewer.
More and more TRA personnel working at its front lines have tested positive for COVID. And as a result, 96 train trips have been cancelled since May 16th.
As a result of the pandemic, the TRA says more than 30 people have had to stop work recently, even though that's only a small minority at only 2%, considering that there are 800 to 900 train trips every day and that some workers need to work shifts. The manpower is overextended.
It's not surprising that train trips are being cut back. The TRA says in a statement that to meet the needs of commuters, students and travellers on weekdays, and in consideration of relatively higher weekday passenger volumes, it will resume the services of 10 commuter trains. However, it will still cut 100 train trips on weekdays and more than 110 train trips on weekends. The new schedule will be adopted in June.
Since I go from Hualien to Taipei, I can only take the train. Otherwise, I'd have to consider driving. It's still more convenient to take the train.
Statistics show that demand for train rides is increasing. Last year marked the first time trains have carried more passengers than highways in 32 years. Highway transport last year accounted for 790.9 million rides, lower than the 792.4 million rides for trains. However, the TRA's privatisation plans are sparking fears in its employees that they may be laid off. It's been reported that many are taking the civil service exams, applying for transfers to other agencies or taking an early retirement. All this would exacerbate the current situation of fewer train services. However, in the long term, passenger demand for public transport looks likely to drop.
You can clearly see it in Taipei. Look at the passenger volumes of the MRT or buses. They have dropped significantly. One factor is that the way we work has changed and that our lifestyles have also changed. Another factor is Taiwan's population is slowly aging. All these factors will drive down demand.
Experts say that during the pandemic, public transport is often cut back. Making adjustments on a rolling basis according to demand should be the top priority. The problem is that as the number of infected TRA personnel climbs and as people jump ship, making adjustments on a rolling basis may be easier said than done.